Hello again. It's been a minute since I've sat down and made a video behind the camera, but I picked up something really cheap off of Craigslist pretty much 2 days ago for only $100. So what we have here is pretty interesting. This is a GMP WOC gas blowback rifle. The kit it is in, or the body is in, is the Fighting Cat, and it's got some pretty weird words for the safe, semi, and auto. So again, this was only $100 on Craigslist. I saw the Magpul furniture, like this grip. The magazine I didn't know was included just yet, but it is a metal E-mag for holding gas. But it's actually been HPA tapped on the bottom, which I have the adapter over here off to the side. This Magpul stock is from the beta project, so it didn't have the stock. It was actually in pieces, but just like the upper and the lower and the bolt were taken apart, and then I just assembled the rest of it. I threw on my replica endpoint and my stubby grip and the beta project stock, and so it is a full gun now. It's a pretty long length too, but they actually included a bunch of parts with the gun, so I can change it up a bit and, you know, do some different styles. So this gun is obviously upgraded with some new parts. One of the things it has is the anti-rotation pin set, and it also has I don't know if this is the stock one where the right side has a cutout for your finger to go, but it definitely has that. He polished the selector switch, the trigger, and the magazine release, and I think maybe even the bolt, and he polished another upper receiver, but I'll get into that. So this is the Fighting Cat, is the body of the gun, and then obviously some extras are put into it. So this is a HPA gun. Unless I get a different magazine, I can't use like propane and green gas in it. So this is the magazine. It is a, what is it, a P-mag from Magpul, of course, PTS. It is made out of metal. It's pretty heavy. I'm pretty sure it only holds about 30 rounds. It used to be a regular gas magazine. But it has a HPA tap. So you could just run compressed air. Test video of this gun up soon with just attached to a compressor, so I could just do some stable testing shots. The gun does need a new nozzle, so if you know where to buy GMP nozzles, let me know so I can. I'm just liking this gun a lot because it is a really nice looking M4. You have all these logos and stuff, and I like the anti-rotation pin, the Magpul Grip, this trigger guard, and there's a lot of things about it that are just super cool. It's the other side, ambidextrous fire selector, and closing dust cover, gas blowback, M4 bolt. Very, very realistic. The upper receiver is numbered, and then you can see it's got the Fighting Cat logo. And this is a real steel Punisher charging handle with like a little paddle thing. Pull on. So it had to be modified, and then I had to fix it up to make sure it worked with the bolt, since it's for a real gun. It's also got a numbered buffer tube, and since it's gas blowback, it's got realistic internals. So let's just pop it open, take a look under the hood. Alright, so like a real M4, it splits open like this. You can see your hammer and all that. He said he did some work to it, so it's got kind of a heavier trigger pull, but it feels really good anyway. And then it's got I think a new bolt, what's it called, bolt lock. And then the thing here to keep the buffer spring and this thing in place has been replaced with a steel one. And I could show you the thing. I think this is from an LM4 is what the guy told me, and then I have 3 different springs, and I actually have 3 different these things, the buffers or whatever they're called. I have 2 more of those that fit in the gun, and one is for high recoil. And then we come here and you can take the bolt out, but I do need a nozzle in order to test shoot the gun, but that's the M4 bolt. And then here's the the real charging handle from whoever does the Punisher stuff, and I really like the handle on it. but it's been modified here in order to fit. And just like that, it's back together. Quite a nice gun, the GMP WOC Fighting Cat, upgraded and with Magpul furniture. Very nice setup going on here. He included almost enough parts to make a whole nother gun, or I should say a whole nother lower receiver. I think filed down this receiver, but these two pins broke off, but he epoxied them on with something super strong, and so now it will not break off. And then there's the lower receiver from the Navy SEAL version, but this part broke off. And he also included all the, selectors and triggers and hammers for that low receiver. So if anything ever went wrong in this gun, you have backup pieces immediately on standby. 2 more buffer springs. 2 more recoil buffers, I think they're called. This one's the heavy one, so it's pretty heavy. And I don't know what this one is. This might be the stock GMP. Then we have 1 more barrel. This is pretty much the same length as the one that's in there, which is pretty long. And then a shorter barrel, which I want to put on and then have a suppressor on it so it looks like it's integrated in the rail system, kind of like a honey badger or something like that. So that will be put in there eventually. Cannot put it on safe unless it's been caulked. And here's a look at the front of the gun. I really hate this rail system, to be honest. I mean, having this canceled out right here, the bottom rail, it almost ruins the entire lower rail because you gotta have your grip about here. But it has an included built-in. Well, the barrel is attached to this sight which flips up like this, but it's kind of pointless since I don't have a rear sight. And yeah, I mean, it pretty much like ruins these rails here. They're too short. Like, what are you gonna put right there? Maybe just the sight, but otherwise, if it was uninterrupted rail space, it would make for a better rail. And it has a standard Birdcage flash hider. And this was pretty cool. All the barrels, including this one, have some writing to identify the barrels. So it says like 5.56 NATO. Yeah, I think out of all the barrels, this is probably the best barrel. But I do want to switch to the shorter one so I could do some integrated suppressor stuff. So this is the Magpul grip that's put on it. I like the two-tone, the tan grip and trigger guard on the black body with silver parts. It's a very nice look, so props to the guy who built this gun. It's pretty good looking. But this grip is a grip that I wanted to get for the Scar. It's too bad that gas blowback grips and AEG grips are incompatible. But it's quite a beastly grip, and it feels amazing. It's a real comfortable grip. Anything from Magpul, pretty much. And really easy throw on the selector. It's really easy, but it stays in place pretty well, so it's not going to have any bullshit going on. And all the work he's done to the gun is pretty good. So, this gun, obviously pretty cool. I do want to get it to work and field it, and then after that I will sell it on probably eBay. So, yeah, it's a nice gun. So, stay tuned.